Hi, I'm Pamela Hasselbring, owner of Pilates Minnesota.
I'm Sean Marquis, physical therapist. I work at Pilates Minnesota.
We're going to do a couple exercises with you today. One is what we call pelvic clocks, and another one is going to be bridging. If you have a chair at home, it would be a great idea if you can get your feet up on a chair like Sean has here, and your knees are going to be right over your pelvis. If you feel tight in your hips, you might move back just a little bit to give yourself a little bit of space, a little bit of room for your hips if you feel too tight. So find a place where you're in a position when you're lying down that you can easily hold what we call neutral spine. So Sean has space in her neck here. That's her normal curve in her neck. Then her ribs are down on the floor here, okay? And you should feel those ribs just sitting on the floor. And then you should have a little bit of space in your low back. And it shouldn't be a forced space. So that's when you, just like that, that's a forced space. You want those ribs to stay down, and you want your belly to stay flat, and you want to have just a little bit of low back space. Okay, so you might need to move back for that. So what we're going to do in this position is we're going to use, back to our breathing, if you looked at our first tape, we did a breathing exercise. So you're going to breathe again, breathe wide into your rib cage, breathe here, breathe into the side ribs, the back ribs, and then when you exhale, you want your abs to kind of flatten out, but you don't want to push your back into the mat. You want to keep your back with that little bit of space. So she's breathing, she's inhaling. You can see her ribs funnel down when she exhales. She's like opening her mouth, fogging up a mirror to exhale. That'll get her abs a little bit more activated. And then again, inhale, breath, and then exhale. And you want to feel these abs almost drop away from your t-shirt. Pull a little bit away from your t-shirt, keeping that space in your low back. Okay? Then you're going to inhale. Now we're going to get rid of that space. So she'll inhale. And when she exhales, she's going to tip her pelvis back a little bit, use all these muscles to kind of put her low back lightly into the floor. And then she'll go back to neutral, inhale, and that again has that normal amount of space. And then exhale, she's going to press down and draw those ribs down. And see how that flattens nicely? And she's not pressing real hard into the floor. And then back to neutral. Now you're going to extend your back, meaning you're going to arch it a little bit more. So you're going to create more space. And now everything opens up, and then everything flattens again and going down. So you can see her pelvis just tipping back and forth, almost like a bowl. And if you take a bowl and there's water in it and you reach it away, the water tips this way. And then you take the bowl and pull it back this way, and then the water tips towards her belly button. So the water tips away with the pelvis, inhaling, and then exhale, and the water tips towards her belly button. Good, you're gonna have to do that one more time. Inhale, reach it away. And she's trying to keep her hip flexors quiet, these muscles here, her glutes are quiet. That's why her legs are up. It kind of helps just keep this all relaxed. And then she's gonna go back to neutral spine. Now we're gonna do something. She's back in the neutral, everything has its three curves, and she's real comfortable in that position. Are you comfortable in that position? So now we're gonna go side to side. So you're gonna take a breath, and I'm gonna use this pole, because this is going to show you on the video what's happening with her pelvis. So when she goes side to side, she's going to inhale. If I came along and sat down on her left side, her right pelvis would pop up, and there goes the pole. It goes at an angle. And this side of her pelvis comes up a little bit. And even this knee shifts up. You can even push down with this leg a little bit to get this side to come up lightly. And then inhale, and then she'll exhale. And then I came and I sat on this side of her body, and this knee would pull up. You can even let that knee pull forward to keep this pelvis long. And then inhale, exhale, a shift and a lift, just slightly. And if I let go of the pole, she's tipping it. You can see that side to side. Inhale, and then exhale, the pole will shift and go to that side. Good? And that's her pelvis rocking, side to side. And then we're gonna go back to neutral again. Everything's relaxed. Now if I took a clock and put a clock on her pelvis, belly button would be 12 o'clock, pubic bone will be 6 o'clock. Every spot along there has its number, 1, 2, at 3 o'clock she'll be at that side position. At 4, 5, and 6 o'clock, you're gonna lift up. At 7 o'clock, 8 up to 9 o'clock, it'll be back to the side position with the pelvis lifted. And then around to 12 o'clock, she's going to imprint. So we're going to start here, and she's going to try and keep this going continuously, using her abs and her back muscles and keeping pretty quiet in this part of her body. So take a breath, inhale. She's gonna tip back to 12 o'clock. So if there was a marble here, it would roll down to her belly button. And then she's gonna inhale, exhale, she's gonna slowly roll. 1, 2, at 3 o'clock, she's at the side. 4, 5, 6 o'clock, she's arching her back, the marble's down by her pubic bone. 7, 8, 9 o'clock, the marble's at this side. And 10, 11, 12 o'clock, it's back at her belly button. So she's gonna continually roll a marble around the outside of the pelvis, thinking of it as a clock as her pelvis moves around. And you're just trying to get all those little muscles, there's so many little muscles in her body, activated in the abs and in the back. And we're just trying to move all those little muscles to get all this work in your back and your ab muscles. Good job. Now we're going to go the opposite way. Another thing we like to do in a class situation, or where we're teaching you, is to have the marble go the other way and notice if there's any spots that feel sticky or you can't move through them. And kind of pay particular attention to those spots and see if you can kind of work those muscles to get that movement. Okay, and just keep paying attention to those and see if you can kind of work through that movement and open up your pelvis. It's almost like belly dancing on the mat, we call that. Belly dancing on the mat. And then she's going to go back to neutral, where everything's neutral again and relaxed. Good. Now we're going to do bridging exercise, right? So the bridging takes off of this. So once you've got this and you've warmed up your pelvis, your abs, your back, and everything's warm, then we're going to go into lifting our hips up. So you're going to take a breath, inhale, exhale, you're going to draw those ribs down. You're going to use your abs again, so back to the imprint. And now you're going to just slowly just lift your hips, and it doesn't have to be big, it's a small little lift, up off the floor, just to there, hold. Inhale, and then she's going to exhale, and she's going to slowly lower and come down. I would start with a really small lift to begin with, to check out to see if this feels okay with your body. So inhale, we'll do a small one. Exhale, and slowly come up. And she's keeping the pelvis nice and level as she lifts. She holds it. And then soften here. I always tell people to reach the sacrum, like to the back of the knees, and that'll give you elongation as you go down. And then she probably can come up a little bit higher. Inhale, and then exhale. She's going to tip her pelvis back, relax her upper body, relax her neck, chin relaxes. Yep, so you want to keep real relaxed here. She's coming pretty high, up between her shoulder blades, not higher, and she's not flaring her ribs. A lot of people will come up and go too high and flare. We don't want the flare, and we don't want that extension in the back. We want neutral, and then as she comes down, keep reaching her sacrum up to the back of her knees, and then she'll lower down one vertebrae at a time, relaxing. We're going to do one more. Inhale. Exhale, pelvic tilt. Gently puts her back down. Ribs slide to your hips. Sacrum reaches to the back of the knees. That's the lowest part of your back, the sacrum. And you're going to hold there. Take a breath. And then you're going to keep reaching the lowest part of your spine to the back of the knees and lower one vertebrae at a time. And then relax to neutral and see how everything feels.